Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I took out the black wig and the red makeup because today's theme is going to be me attempting to paint using only red light in a dark room, obviously. So if you don't really know what that entails, when using only red light, you can't really see colors anymore and you're working only with values. Of course you can recognize red because red lights, you know, it's giving red back to you and you can see red, you know. This is kind of scary knowing that I love to use colorful palette and I won't be able to know what I'm doing. So we'll be doing a galaxy, a sunset, as well as beach waves. And the galaxy I'm not too scared about because no matter what I'll use, as for colors, I don't think it will look bad. The sunset is scaring me a little bit, but the beach waves. Can you imagine if I'm using yellow and purple and it looks like mud? Yeah, that's not pretty. So I will be asking my boyfriend to take all of my watercolors and mix them. I just won't be using those last 5, which are neutral tones, black and white, because that I would consider cheating, because white is, well, white. I hope the camera will be able to pick the red light because it's not that strong, but we should be alright. And if you want to see me have a metal breakdown and doubt any of my artist abilities, let's just go and you can witness that. Let's discover how the colors have been mixed, shall we? So as you can see, he did a great job at mixing them. Except for the red, I have no idea what those colors are. I guess the lightest are the yellows, but except for that, no clue. But anyways, we'll have to start anyway, so I'll be working on the galaxy using the wet on wet technique. Then I did mix some colors to get a very nice light shade. This was what I considered to be the lightest. I'm not too scared to start a bit darker with galaxies, though I love to have very contrasted galaxy paintings. But the thing I was most worried about were the medium tones. Except for that one on the bottom right, that one pan, I couldn't see which ones were the medium tones in the other pans. I tried to do some weird mixing. That was a mess, not gonna lie. But in the end, I attempted to go a bit darker. For the very first layer of paint, I don't like to go too dark, so that was very good for me. That was almost perfect. And then I added a bit of that for some reason. And I stopped there. And now for the sunset, again I did wet the paper first. I also used liquid latex on the cat because I didn't want to worry about painting over it and not seeing the line art anymore. And I went with a very dark shade there. I tried my best at blending everything and have a nice ombre, and that's where we are with the first layer. And now for the wave, again I wetted the paper first, and then I went along with a very dark color. I used another one to try to do an ombre look. You can't really see the difference of shades, but these are actually 2 different shades. And I just went with some clear water, tried to make it more transparent, I guess, or less opaque at the bottom. And lastly, I did add some water droplets on the night sky to add a very nice texture. And now, with the first layer dried up, we can go back with the midtones. You'll see very quickly that I went with a very dark tone after that. I don't know what happened in my brain. That looks very dark. I got scared there for a moment because I didn't think it would go that dark that fast. So I did use a tissue to try to add some texture and not get kind of a muddy, all blended look. I like my galaxies to be textured. So I tried to mix some colors together. It looked kind of pretty, so I was honestly gaining confidence at this point. For the galaxy, for me it started to look quite good. I'm working with the dark shade a bit more, trying to blend those 2 colors together, make sure that there is some play, I guess, with the darkest shade, making some shapes and all. Well, you get what I'm trying to say, just trying to do galaxies. And now back to the night sky, I went with a very, very dark color there. Don't worry, the texture is still going to be visible in the end. But here I started to stress out because that mid-tone was very weird. It would not blend well with the darker color and I was kind of scared. I mixed some complementary colors. So I went back to the galaxy and I did a bit of texture and details. This is my favorite part, by the way. I also worked on the second wave. I started way too light, so I went like the second extreme. It wasn't too light, let's go way too dark. And I worked it out. The waves, it was so hard. As you can see, it's blending weird. I don't know the colors I chose, and I did the sand on the beach as well. And the thing is, the color of the second wave is way too light, almost looks like the sand, so that was a bit stressful. I'm adding the texture back to the sky. And then because I'm realizing that the second wave is way too light compared to the sand, I had to darken the first wave. And that's where we are at the second layer. Once it's dried up, let's go for the final layer. For the galaxy, it's only about adding details and texture. This is so fun. You just let yourself go and have fun. Now we're back with the kitty, so we are taking the latex off with a very satisfying peel. But before doing the kitty, I wanted to add that last wave because it was bothering me. And you can really see that the shade of the wave is the same as the sand. Not the shade, but the tone, like it's the same. You can't see the difference. And I was scared. It looks like an endless wave, and So I went back with the second wave to make it darker, so that in the end I could darken the last one. This was very stressful. The beach one, was a mess. So I darkened it as much as I could, and I had to add a crab because I needed the happiness and the little crabby. So now we're off to adding the stars to the galaxy. For some reason I didn't record the first part of adding the stars. I don't know what happened there, but I did add some stars, some constellations. I'll just let you check the process. And there we are with the final galaxy. What do you think? Now for the night sky, I'm adding a little moon before adding the stars. Drawing a moon without sketching it first was weird. I was so scared it would be some kind of weird bananas, but it looks like a moon, alright. And of course I'm adding the stars before adding the cat, because I wanted to avoid having stars on the cat when I'm adding them, of course. So I'm adding an electric pole. This was such a straight line, except for the bottom. I was so proud of myself. And now for the little kitty. I was astonished. You'll see in the results, because that color, keep in mind how dark this color is. For me, it almost looked like black. I know I didn't have black. As I told you in the intro, I didn't want to use black, but this, for me, looked black. Keep that in mind for later. And also, sorry for my hair coming through there. There we are with the little night sky. I love it. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I felt very discouraged about this last painting. The beach waves felt ugly for some reason, like the contrast wasn't it. I felt like I chose the wrong colors. So when I added the white foam, I guess, I was like, you know what, screw this, I'm not doing it. So that's where we're at. No patience. Okay guys, so this is real-time me. So I'm done doing the 3 paintings. I must say that I got very impatient with the beach one, because beaches are not something I like to paint that much, to be honest. And the red is starting to be painful to my eyes, and I have to focus so much to be able to see when the brush is hitting the paper, because for some reason with the red light my depth perception is very bad. But yeah, so that's where we are right now, and I'm about to turn my ring light on so that we can get the real colors. I'm pretty scared. I'm hopeful for this one the most. This one, I'm a bit scared because it does look a bit dark here. I mean, there's a gradient, but it does look a bit dark over down there. And the beach, I think, is gonna be the worst because those waves are way too similar to this. But oh my god, I'm so scared. Wow. Are we ready? Okay, you have to count down with me. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh my god. I'm so shocked. I was so scared it would look horrible. But it's actually not that bad. Oh my god. I'm actually shook right now. Wow. My boyfriend did a good job, but look, I tried to mix like some weird colors. Oh, it's a green I never used actually there. And I think the color I thought was the darkest is the one I use here, and it's actually, I think it's cobalt blue. And that's what I used as medium tone, like mid-tone everywhere. Wow. It's actually so weird seeing the colors. Wow. You know what? Now I'm kinda sad I didn't take more time for the beach because I was so sure it would look like shit that I didn't even take the time to really do the waves. Oh my god, I'm kinda sad now. Oh well, what's done is done. We are going to peel the tape. Wow, this challenge was insane. You've got to tell me which one is your favorite. The galaxy is nice because these are colors I never use almost together, but I kind of like this one. The fact that I used cobalt blue instead of black gives it such a soft vibe. Wow, this is insane. I still can't believe how good that looks. And there are way too many stars here. With the red light, I couldn't see. There was almost none for me, like to my eyes, it looked like there was none. But yeah, wow. Insane. I've got to do that again. Whoops. There's been a bit of an accident. I'm gonna clean the lines there anyways, and I'm gonna show you the whole thing tomorrow at sunlight. But wow, my god guys, I am shooketh. That's crazy. Wow.